second semifinals. Another fresh best of 5 coming at you. And one of the, pardon me, one of the big things to discuss is there are some very unique rules applying to this series that didn't apply to the previous series. We'll go over those in a moment, but we'll do the intros first. In the bottom right corner of the map, from Imaginary Gaming, it's going to be the blue Protoss player, Welmu.
And in the top right, Mr. Sleepyhead, it's Root Iaguz.
Yeah, so I guess the quick TLDR, a little bit of awkwardness, guys. Iaguz was asleep. I don't know if he just forgot or if he overslept or what the deal was, but he's here now. He's had about 15 minutes to wake up, get some coffee, splash some water on his face, whatever he needed to do to be prepared to play. Sadly, he didn't get to warm up StarCraft 2, but that's his fault for being late. Welmu's kind of in the same boat. He only just hopped on. Now, he hasn't just woken up, of course, but he had missed his first bus home and had to take the second one and thus a little bit late. So they each time out perfectly to still play the series in the matchup. But about this special set of rules. So we do coin flips and we do things like map vetoes in very specific ways, but since these are players playing from Europe and Iaguz living in the root house, North America, it's kind of hard to figure out which server is the most fair to play on. You can't make them all play on Europe, for example, as unfair to Iaguz, or vice versa. So we have the choice of what we typically do is North America to Europe, North America to Europe, and we keep swapping back and forth, and that's what happened with Snoot and Moose skills. Iaguz, however, selected the choice to go for loser's pick this time. Now, this can be really beneficial for somebody who's perhaps not confident in the matchup. If he's expecting to lose to Welmu a bunch, maybe he wants that home field server advantage, so he's got a better chance for a comeback later on. Or maybe he feels so confident he's going to keep Welmu on the European server. I don't know which.
We're on the NA server right now.
Yep.
Because Iaguz won the coin flip, then that kind of makes sense. And then Welmu didn't have any objections, so hopefully the lag isn't too bad. We have a 1 rack expand. No, it was 14cc? Oh, it was 14cc, yeah. So a pretty quick CC here, but it is a 4-player map. And it makes sense. You're probably gonna get away with this. Basically, like, they would be either cheesing, which, you know, you don't really 2-get on this map, or they'd be really chrono boosting out a very fast Zealot and Stalker and Mothership, and that's not what Welmu's doing.
I feel like, generally speaking, it's really hard to play this greedy versus most Protoss players. So I'm not sure if Iaguz is doing this just because this is his comfort in the matchup. Like, you know, maybe he's someone who always plays greedy PvT. He's straight up Marine King styles. I don't know. Or maybe it's that he likes the more old school builds that are more marine focused and bio pushy than Widowmine drops. But it's kind of cool to see him go this route.
I'm more surprised that Welmu went as greedy as he did. He went for a Nexus first, I think. Either that or Gateway, Nexus, Cybernetics Core. Point is, though, is that you usually want to, you know, Gateway, Cybernetics Core, then Nexus to get the Stalker. Well, first the Mothership and then the Stalker out, so you don't have to worry about Reaper damage. Because one Reaper, when you have absolutely nothing, and it doesn't really count because they're easy enough to avoid, you're going to lose a lot of probes. You're going to lose a lot of mining time. And most Protoss aren't willing to even, like, risk that, even on the best of maps for a fast expansion.
Yeah, it definitely feels like they're both trying to capitalize on the fact that the first map is a 4-player map. You know, banking on the fact that that Reaper won't find you right away. That you'll get that extra 20 seconds, and vice versa for Iaguz was hoping that probe wouldn't scout him so quickly. Yeah. The nice thing to having the 3 racks follow up to this, though, is while you do lack gas for a long time, you will have enough Marines to deal with Oracles. So, I mean, it's not what Welmu's going for, but it is every Terran's greatest fear.
Yeah. You could also do a push with Marines. I feel like this is really fallen out of favor, though, just like any pushes, Combat Shield, Marauder. Basically to get either the Stalker killed or the Mothership to pop an overcharge. We've been seeing a lot more like Widowmine drops, Hellion builds, or just straight up macro, where you'd be surprised at how scary a Terran is when you didn't do anything to stop them from getting the fast 3cc, for instance. Which is not what Iaguz is doing. I mean, he could have gotten away with it if he had only known, but just can't.
Someone in chat, by the way, asking for the full map order if you've still got it so they can update the Wikipedia page, I guess. I don't know, it's not a big deal, just if you haven't copy-pasted, I meant.
I didn't. It's still in the thing, though. Cactus, Echo, Coda, Expedition, Vanna.
Well, there you have it. Guys, I want to remind everybody, of course, one more time, this is one of the last chances you're going to have to enter that watch contest, that giveaway. That $200 code could be yours, but it's game 1 of the finals. We'll announce the winner, and if you're not here to claim it, we'll move on to the next person and so forth. So I hope if you do enter, you're going to be sticking around for a while. And of course, we'll be hopping to the grand finals immediately after this one concludes. We're not going to take like an hour break or any BS like that. It's this best of 5 immediately into the best of 7 grand finale. No, actually, just a moment here, because we do have this game shaping up, but it's still that slower start. Who do you really want to see fight versus Snoot in this for that finals? Like, do you really want to see the Iaguz Welmu matchup go in the favor of Iaguz or Welmu?
I would like to see Iaguz. I just really like TVZ. PUC is like it's not as bad as it used to be in my opinion, especially since Stormhost are out of the matchup. But you know, Terran bias, I suppose. And plus, it's the matchup that we haven't never seen apparently. And you were talking about that. Actually, I want to go check.
Yeah. I'm actually really curious too for Iaguz and Snoot, just because I would love to see how that goes. But I feel like there's just a lot riding against Iaguz in this instance. First of all, wow, it's just Colossus drops. I just realized it didn't click with me. This is Gravitic Drive that's researching right now. So Warp Prism with speed and Colossus is going to be very annoying to deal with. This is something that we saw very exclusively out of players like Puck. Not a lot of others would even go for this. And the Colossus itself, even without upgrades, can deal tons of damage to the Marines. And that's what Iaguz has, just lots of Marines.
That's true. But usually we saw this specifically on maps that had an outlying natural. So like Nimbus or Vanai. What was the other map that we saw it on? I forget actually. But the point is that you'd have some place that was very easy to like drop and get away from. And I guess Cactus Valley kind of still fits that bill, as you do have some dead space on the right where the rocks are. Of course, Vikings are going to come out, and they actually want to kind of avoid making Vikings because Terrans want 4 medevacs. That
and the fact that with Warp Prism speed, you actually cannot catch that Warp Prism. Not that, oh my god, it'll be close, you gotta rely on miscontrol. The Warp Prism already outruns Vikings without speed boosts, and with the speed upgrade, you're never gonna catch that thing.
I think the other benefit to doing it like on Nimbus and whatnot is they put it like kind of behind the mineral lines, and the AI really messes up where, you know, I guess is getting a couple of good concaves, so that harass really didn't even do a whole lot. I mean, getting the upgrade for the Warp Prism is something that we usually just never see, and even so, like, Warp Prism in general is something we don't usually see in the early game, unless it's very specific builds. So it is a dedicated, you know, choice. But I don't know if, like, not doing enough damage would, like, really hurt him so much that I guess is like, yeah, I held that off. I'm in a great position now. Oh, that was bold. Sentries were in position. Welmu was obviously controlling his army. He was moving it back and forth. Trying to get the Colossus was dangerous.
I mean, it's such a hard thing to contend with this many early Colossus, and it's not like Iaguz didn't know this was going to be the case. If there's a Colossus drop, chances are there's a good 2 or 3 more behind it.
No. So that's what I think about the Warp Prism. You know, again, without the speed, it does like the same damage probably, but with the speed, it's definitely going to be able to get in and get out and really harass. But Welmu was looking to do a 2 gateway all-in. I mean, I don't want to call it all-in because he just only started +1, so it seems like just an attack of convenience. You noticed how far ahead he was.
I would kind of label it all-in just because we don't see the extra probes coming out. We don't see the attempt for a 3rd, right? Like, he's really dedicating for a killing blow, and he just might get it. Iaguz coming from behind, though, will catch the Colossus on the wrong side of the buffer. However, just walks back a couple of steps. 1 Colossus goes down. Zealots are off in the middle of nowhere, not guarding this army, but don't need to either. The Stalkers are doing a more than ample job. Iaguz just a few units short, and 1 Colossus goes down again, but GG is going to be called. Too many SCVs died, not enough units remain, and Welmu will take the first game in this best of 5.
Very quick. So it's going to be loser's